Hello, CX here, and just want to say happy late 30th anniversary to the Sony PlayStation. Now, 5 years ago, back in 2020, I did the 25-year anniversary special, which is just a screenshot of the PlayStation and the title, which is basically I'm doing the exact same thing with this one, only this time it's the 30th anniversary this time. In Japan, of course, because we didn't actually get the PlayStation until a year later in 1995. So it's most likely the 29th anniversary of the PlayStation, at least until 2 or maybe a day later if I'm releasing it on the 30th or the 31st until, like the actual true year 2025, which is in fact the 30th anniversary of the PlayStation in the US. Now, back in the previous video, being the 25th anniversary of the PlayStation, I said that the PS5 would become a successful console and would rival between Nintendo Switch and the Microsoft Xbox Series X. Well, one of them I was half right. The PS5 eventually beat out the Xbox Series X as due to multiple reasons. But the Switch, on the other hand, well, the Switch completely beaten out the PS5 by a long shot due to the many first-party titles of the Switch compared to the PS5, which is lackluster to say at least. Well, that's because I think the PS5, despite being successful, is not doing as well as we once hoped 5 years ago. It's also due to many reasons, which I'm also not going to discuss because you already know the reason why if you actually been on to YouTube for this long. But even if the first party titles are completely lackluster at best, there was at least a few that did manage to stand out, like God of War Ragnarok, Horizon 2, and my new favorite PS5 game of this year, Astrobot. Now, I've been talking more about the PS5 rather than talking about the 30th anniversary of the PS1. Well, the reason for this is that Sony hasn't been doing a very great job during the PS5 era so far due to the already mentioned lackluster first-party titles, but also their business strategy and a very lack of competition. But even though I've fallen out of favor with the PlayStation throughout the PS5 years, but I still admire the original PS1 because it has an interesting history and how the PS1 became a very juggernaut powerhouse during the 5th generation era of consoles, which modern Sony seems to be lacking nowadays. So at least with that, I can say that, yeah, I'm glad that Sony is still continuing strong, even though, like mentioned before, they're not the same publisher that I used to know. Sorry that this video feels rushed and unscripted and the many stutters that I did, but goddammit, I at least wanted to release one video for this year and not have no videos this year. Yeah, that sounds a little bit stupid that I just said, but hey, I'm going off script, so what can you do? Anyways, I'm CX and have a happy New Year's Eve, and I'll see you all in 2025.